What is up everyone, Team Nato here, welcoming you back to another video. It's not much, but it's mine. In this video, we'll be talking about this lens. Before anything else, I would like to invite everyone to please hit the subscribe button and punch that notification bell, as it would help make things run a bit smoother around here. Okay, let's go. Alright guys, so for this video, we'll be talking about the 7 Artisan 60mm 2.8 macro lens. Again, just like my last lens review for the Viltrox 85mm 1.8, link is up here. I would be judging this lens in 4 categories. First is the build quality of the lens. Second is usually the autofocus, but for this lens, I will be talking about the usability, and we'll be talking more about that in just a second. Third category is of course image quality. How good are the photos coming out of this lens? And last but definitely not the least is the value of this lens right here. I was quite surprised when I got this lens because I thought I was getting something very plasticky, very light, that doesn't feel hefty, doesn't feel like it's gonna stand the test of time. But when I got it, I was surprised that it was fully made out of metal. The focus ring is made out of metal, the aperture dial is made out of metal, and it's actually quite heavy. It feels like it's very good quality, it's built well. My only gripe with this is that the focus ring is a bit like sharp, so I don't think that if you're going to use this for a long time, you're definitely gonna feel it on your fingers, and it doesn't feel nice, the focus ring. But overall, feels very good quality. It's built like a tank, and it also has a metal mount on the bottom, so you gotta appreciate that. So it's not gonna break when you're putting it on your camera. But speaking of putting it on your camera, it was quite difficult for me to put this on the camera. It was hard to twist, and of course you don't get that rubber gasket for weather sealing, so it's not gonna be water or weather resistant, so you're just gonna have to take care of it when you're outdoors. And last, it's pretty hard to clean the front element of the lens, because when you look at it, it's way under there. Even if you just put it out like that, it's way under there, so you have to take care of it again. You make sure that nothing goes in there, because it's really hard to reach the front element of that lens if you get something on there. Overall, the build quality is pretty solid given its price point, and I'm going to give it 4 big stars out of 5. Alright, so next up is the usability of this lens. The reason why I changed it to usability instead of autofocus like what I did with the Viltrox 85 1.8 video is because that this 7 Artisan 60mm 2.8 macro is actually a full manual lens. Now for the usability, it's great for taking photos of stationary objects. It works very well if you're into product photography, if your subjects aren't moving. When I went outside to take photos of our flowers in our garden, having that wind messes up your focus, so it's pretty hard to use with moving objects. For portrait, it's gonna be slow. And I think the main purpose of this lens is for product shots, and it does have some pretty great images for product shots. We're gonna be talking about that in a second. But for overall usability, it's like you can use it for a couple of things like food photography, product shots, and maybe some detail shots for a wedding, or detail shots for real estate photography. Overall, for the usability of this lens, you can use it again for real estate, for some detail shots for a wedding, product shots, food photography. So there's a pretty nice number of use cases for this lens, so I'm gonna give it a solid 3 out of 5. Now for the image quality, I'm not going to go all technical because I'm not a very technical person. This lens is actually pretty sharp, especially on your focus point. It has a lot of detail. The bokeh on this lens looks phenomenal, and it's just a great lens overall in terms of image quality. I'm gonna show you here some sample photos that I took with this 60mm macro lens. Check it out. Alright, those are the photos. Take note that this is an APS-C lens. I used it with my A7 III, which is a full frame camera, so I had to use the crop mode on the camera, and I might have lost some megapixels when I'm taking the shots, but overall pretty awesome shots. And for image quality, it takes solid photos, and I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now, of course, last but not the least is the value of this lens. This lens, you can buy this lens in the States on Amazon for around $159, which is a great price for a lens. In the Philippines, you can buy it for around 8,500 pesos new, or in my case, I got this used for 5,000 pesos. Again, great quality. 5,000 pesos is around $110. Other macro lenses out there like the Sony G90mm macro lens, it will run you about $1,098 new, or around $700, $800 used. Here in the Philippines, you can get that for a lower price, surprisingly, for around 42,000 new, which is around a little under $1,000. And used, you can get this for 30,000 pesos, sorry, around $500. So it's pretty expensive, especially comparing it to this. Now, given that this is a manual lens, you can still take great photos with this, especially if you're just starting out with product photography or food photography, or photography that requires you to have a lot of detail shots. But for $159, you're saving a whole lot of cash if you opt for this lens. For value, I'm going to give this lens 4.5 out of 5 stars. That brings our total to, drumroll please, 14.5 stars. It's a pretty good score for a lens in this price point, $159. You get a macro lens for detail shots, product shots, food photography, and it's just an overall great lens. Alright guys, there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and please do hit that like button and smash that subscribe and punch that bell. That's it for me tonight guys. Peace out.